Progress check 2.1, ratio and proportion. Question number 1. Write the following ratios in their simplest form. 9 to 48. So we've got these two numbers which we've got to think what factor they have in common. So what is that number we can divide both of them by and have an answer as a whole number. So we've got 9 and 48, and both of these can be divided by 3. So dividing 9 by 3 gives us 3, and dividing 48 by 3 gives us 16. Now looking at these two numbers, can I go any further? Can I divide them by another number and get whole numbers? That's not the case, because 3 is a prime number, and if we have any of them two being a prime number, that suggests that you've got the simplest form of the ratio. Number 2, we've got the ratio of girls to boys in a class is 5 to 5.5. So girls first and then boys, so that suggests that 5 represents the girls and 5.5 the boys. So the question is, what fraction of the class are girls? Fraction of the class, of the whole class, are girls. So the girls are 5 out of the whole class has 5 and 5.5. So the girls and the boys, which gives us 10.5. Now we know that in a fraction we can't write decimals, so we're going to have to scale this up. But also the fact that we've got 0.5 of a person, that is not correct. So scaling this up by multiplying both of the numbers by 2, we get 10 out of 21. So that's the fraction represents the number of girls in class. Moving on to the next question. The ratio of girls to boys in a class is 5 to 5.5. The class has 22 boys. How many girls are there? So first of all, label. What does 5 represent and what does 5.5 represent? So 5 represents the girls and 5.5 represents the boys. Now we know that the class has 22 boys, so that's going to go under the boys. 22. Now how many girls are there? To get from 5.5 to 22, what we do is we multiply the number by 4. So 4 lots of 5.5 give us 22. So that's what we need to do to 5 in order to keep the ratio the same. So 5 times 4 gives us 20. So the number of girls is 20. In the next question we have, here are the ingredients needed to make 8 pancakes. James makes 32 pancakes. So keywords to underline are 8 pancakes and 32 pancakes. So we have the ingredients: 250 milliliters of milk, 1 egg, 140 grams of flour, 5 grams of butter to make 8 pancakes. Work out how many grams of flour he needs. So he needs to make 32 pancakes. How many grams of flour does he need? So we're only interested in the flour here. Now, to make 16 pancakes, for example, we know that he would need 280 grams of flour. So if we double the recipe, that's what we would get. If we multiply the recipe by 3, so to make 24 pancakes, he's going to need 3 lots of 140. So that makes 420 grams of flour. And to make 32 pancakes, that means he's going to need 140 grams more of this. So that makes it 560 grams. The other way to do it would have been, we have pancakes and we have flour. So to make 8 pancakes, we need 140 grams of flour. Now to make 32 pancakes, how many grams of flour do we need? To get from 80 to 32, we multiply it by 4. So we'll do the same thing to get the right weight of the flour, so times 4. So 4 lots of 140 make 560. So 560 grams of flour are needed to make 32 pancakes. The next asks, which of the following offer better value for money? 200 milliliters of toothpaste for 50 pence or 600 milliliters of toothpaste for £1.40. Working must be shown. There are different ways you could solve this in. One of them is to bring this 200 milliliters here to be the same as the 600 milliliters. So bring the amount of toothpaste you'd get to be equal, so then you can compare how much you'd cost for both of the offers, using both of the offers. So that's what I'm going to try and do first. So 200 milliliters of toothpaste for 50 pence, that means that 400 will be £1 and 600 will be £1.50. So this is the first offer. Now looking at the other offer, which we'll try and do in a different colour, we've got 600 milliliters, which costs £1.40. So same amount of toothpaste, but for the first offer it costs £1.50. For the second one, or using the second one, is £1.40. So I can see now that the better value for money offer is the second one. So that is 600 ml for £1.40. And the other way to solve this, and there are many ways, is to actually see how much you'd get per pound. So I want my answer to be milliliters per pound. So this tells me what I need to do. If I look at this first thing I need to input, that's milliliters. So that is 200 milliliters. And this line means division. So divided by, and what is the cost in pounds for the 200 milliliters using the first offer? That is 0.5, which gives us 400 milliliters per pound. I'll repeat the process for the other offer. So we have 600 milliliters. That costs £1.40. So we'll do 1.4. So 600 divided by 1.4 gives us about 429 milliliters per pound. So you'd want the offer that gives you more for the same amount. And that offer is the second one again. The sixth question is asking, the price of 42 chocolates is £8.40. Work out the cost of 6 chocolates. So the ratio of chocolates to cost is this. So 42 to £8.40. So this is chocolates and this is cost. So if we want to work out the cost of only 6 chocolates, what we'll work out is how are we getting 6? What are we doing to 42 to get 6? And that is dividing it by 7. So we'll do the same to the cost, because if you reduce the number of items you're buying, you've got to reduce the cost as well. You're going to have to pay less. You're going to pay less for it. So £8.40 divided by 7 gives us £1.20. So the cost of 6 chocolates is £1.20. The next question is asking, Tom and Julie share £72 in the ratio 5:1. Work out how much more money Tom gets than Julie gets. So we'll look at sharing the £72. So that means we've got 6 units in total, so 5 and 1, that makes 6 in total. So if I divide 72 by 6, then we'll get 12. So 1 unit is worth 12. So in this ratio 5:1, which 5 represents the amount Tom gets and 1 the amount that Julie gets, that this one is equal to £12. What about the 5? So that would be 5 lots of 12. So 12 times 5 gives us 60. So we've got the amount that Tom and Julie get, the 2 different amounts. Now the question is, work out how much more money Tom gets than Julie gets. So if I compare them two, I can see that Tom gets £48 more, and that is 60, take away 12, gives us 48, and that should be the answer. In the next question we have, if the ratio of x to y is 4:11, which of the following statements are correct? So we have option A, B, C and D, but before I go into these and work out which one of them is true, I want us to just think about 4:11 first. So let's use this as an example. Let's say this represents the ratio of apples to pears, for example. So we can rewrite it. 4:11 means apples to pears, represents apples to pears. So if I have 4 apples, I would have 11 pears. If I have 8 apples, that would be 22 pears. Now, if I look at these numbers closely and I try and find different ways of working out 22, for example, the way that I just did it was by doubling this, so I'll double the other side as well. So this would be times 2, and this would be times 2. Now, what is another way of doing the same thing, of working out this 22, for example? So looking at these numbers, 11, 4 and 8, what can I do to them? So I can get 22 by multiplying 11 by 8 and then dividing the answer by 4. So multiplying across and then dividing. Same thing if I want to work out the 8. Let's suppose I have the 4, the 11 and the 22. Then I can go and multiply the two numbers across. So 8 would be equal to 4 times 22 divided by 11. Or 11 would be equal to 4 times 22 divided by 8. Or 4 would be equal to 8 times 11 divided by 22. So multiply across diagonally and then divide by the other number. So in this case now, where we've got 4 to 11 being equal to x to y, right? So we don't know whether we've scaled up or down, and we don't know these two numbers after they've been scaled up or down. So in terms of y, just like we had with 22, I could write that y is equal to 11 times x and then divide that by 4. So 11x divided by 4. Or for x, I can write x is equal to 4 lots of y divided by 11. So multiply diagonally and then divide by the remaining number. So let's see whether this statement and this statement will appear in the options above. So we've got y being option A. Y is 11 over 15 of x, and that is not the case for y, so A is not true. Looking at B, which says x is 4/11 of y, which is true, because x equals 4y over 11 is the same as x is equal to 4/11 of y, or times y. So it means the same thing. So B is the correct option. Having a look at C, we've got x is 11/4 or 11/4 of y, and that is not the case because it's 4/11. And D is 4 over 15 or 4/15 of y, which is not true either. So the correct option is B. This question is asking, in a box of chocolates, the ratio of plain chocolates to milk chocolates is 2 to 9. So the first thing to do would be to label this. So 2 represents the number of plain chocolates and 9 represents the milk chocolates. So it might not be the exact number of them, but the ratio. This is the ratio of plain chocolates to milk chocolates. What fraction of the chocolates are plain ones? So when it says a fraction of the chocolates, means of all the chocolates. Which ones are plain? So plain is 2 out of 2 and 9 makes 11. So 2/11 are plain chocolates. 2/11 of all the chocolates are plain. Pounds can be converted to kilograms using the ratio 11 to 5. So we've got pounds and kilograms, because pounds is given first and then kilograms is given after that. Convert 48 pounds to kilograms. Give your answer to the nearest kilogram. So I'll put pounds under the pounds. So 48 pounds. How many kilograms is that equal to? So we'll look at how many 11s fit into 48. So 48 divided by 11. There 4 of them fit in there, which is 44. And we have 4 left. At this point, we've run out of digits, so we're going to have to put a decimal point here and we can add a 0. So 11s into 40, there's 3 of them, 33, which means that we have 7 left. We can now add a 0, it becomes 70. How many 11s into 70? That is 6 of them. And we can continue, but 4.36 is a good number to stop at. So we've got 2 decimal places. Now what we're going to do, we can place this in, so 4.36. 11 has been multiplied by 4.36 to get 48. So we're going to have to do the same with the 5. So multiplied by 4.36. So 5 lots of 4.36. The easy way to do this without a calculator would be to multiply it by 10 and then halve it. 4.36 times 10 is 43.6. So halving it now, we'd get half of 40 is 20, so I'll put 2 down. Half of 3 is 1.5, but I'll put the 1 in here and transfer 1 over to the 6. So half of 16 is 8. So 21.8 is half of 43.6. So this is the same as multiplying 5 by 4.36. And you could have gone through any other method to work it out as well. So now we've got to write the answer to the nearest kilogram. And that means getting rid of the decimal places. So 21.8 will be rounded to 22 kilograms. We have a model of a plane is made using a scale of 1 to 7. If the real length of the plane is 42 meters, what is the length of the model? So we've got 1 to 7. 1 is the model and 1 is the real plane. Now, if the real length of the plane is 42 meters. Now, one thing is that when you haven't got any units being given to you in the ratio or scale, it means that whatever unit you put in, that's what you're going to get out as well. So I haven't got any unit in 1 to 7, but I've been given a unit in 42. So that means the answer that I'm going to get here will be in meters as well. So looking at this, how many 7s fit into 42? And that is 6 of them. So 7 times 6 gives us 42. So 1 times 6 will give us 6 meters, which is the length of the model. Although it looks big, that is what the question is asking us, and they're going to be big models of planes. So write it as 6 meters. Whatever unit you have to begin with, when you have no units in the ratio, that's what you need to get out. And we've got write the missing value in this equivalent ratio. So we've got 4 to 7 is equal to a number to 63. So to get from 7 to 63, we multiplied by 9. So we'll need to do the same thing to 4. So 4 times 9 will give us the answer. which is 36.